Hey everyone, this is Zephyr, and welcome to the Bailey channel, where we teach everyday DMs how to create truly amazing experiences for their players by combining art and technology. Today, we're taking a look at one of the best tools for speeding up your games, reducing friction in combat, and in general, giving a great quality of life for you and your players in Foundry Virtual Tabletop. And that is token HUDs. These are different UI devices that are going to allow you to access aspects of a character without having to open up a character sheet. You can see in the background as we're showing off a kind of mock combat using different action HUDs as we go through each round. We've got 4 to show you and discuss their features and where you might want to use them. So even if you're using a token HUD already, this can be a great way to see how some of these look and work in action. As per usual, you can find links to these modules down in the description. And with all that said, let's dive right in. As you can see from our demonstration, even with a ton of automation, it can still be pretty clunky to use and control multiple characters in a combat. Now, in theory, if you were DMing this and you were playing this assassin and you had your 2 players over here, you would never have to open their character sheets except to check something. And you could leave the assassin open throughout the rounds. But what if this is a more standard encounter? You have a full party and you're throwing multiple enemy types at them. In this case, let's say some bandits and a bandit captain. Now to keep organized, you're going to have multiple sheets open. And not to mention, these sheets are going to correspond to different bandits. So if this bandit takes some damage, it's going to be different than the sheet for this bandit. So if you're needing to keep track of who's alive and who's dead, these sheets aren't going to help you as much for knowing who is who necessarily. And it can also be a little daunting when you have more complex characters to navigate through all of the different features, items, spellbooks, and the different tabs here. So as a DM, this can be rather clunky. Then even as a player, if you're trying to go fast in combat, you want your turn to be quick. You know what you want to do, but you have to find it in the list of everything. And if you don't have, say, your spells filtered by what you have prepared, maybe it's going to take you a little bit to look through your options when you're planning out your turn, or if you're going through your features, what you're going to be able to use, or even just finding it. Now, the search feature helps a lot with this, and so does the favorites that we used in our demonstration, but it's not a perfect solution. Opening up your sheets, whether they are beautiful or not, can cause a bit of friction when it comes to combat. And we want our combats to be fast, snappy, and engaging. One of the biggest things that will help with that is no automation module, but rather just making it easier to access the information you need to make decisions in combat. And so that's why we're going to discuss these 4 different token action HUDs that are great for speeding up your combats, your games in general, and providing less friction to you and your players when it comes to your decision making at the table. The first of these HUD modules that we're going to take a look at is called Action Pack. There's a hotkey to open it for you, and by default that's E, and it opens up this nice little side panel that basically gives you a miniature version of your character sheet. You can drop down and select all of these different options. It's particularly helpful for players as you can have, again, essentially your entire character sheet right there without having to lose any of the action going on the scene. You can just have it over to the side. It's very easy to select any type of checks that you may want to do, as you can roll directly from this section and expand these areas. This makes Action Pack a really great, heavily detailed HUD option for you and your players. The fact that it is able to retract and expand just with a hotkey or with various automatic detection settings for you and your players makes it really attractive for an easy, unobtrusive option. It feels like this panel should have just always been here on the left side to be able to have some of this character information. That said, it is a lot of information and it's maybe not organized in the exact way that you or your players want it, and it is exclusive to 5e, so we have a few other options to discuss as well. The next HUD that we're taking a look at is Argon, and you've seen this featured in our videos before, and it's for a reason. Not only is the UI really sleek and gorgeous, but it's also really nicely organized and particularly helpful for people learning whatever system you're playing in. You have options to expand out your skills, and then you also have everything organized by economy. So in 5e, we've got our action, bonus action, reaction, and any special actions. It also will dynamically pop open these long rest and short rest options if we're not in combat. And within these, you've kind of got submenus. For example, casting a spell opens up a visual menu where I can see all of my spells. It's really nice to be able to see these things in a great organized way, and it keeps it from being kind of overwhelming with a sea of information for you. And again, it's really great for people learning the system. In addition to having things broken up by action economy, in this case for 5e, you've got the whole action, bonus action, etc. You also have some system-specific helpers. In 5e, we've got 6 different common actions that are added here. So disengage, dodge, ready, dash, hide, and shove. So those are right there, reminding you that, hey, if you don't want to take an attack or cast a spell, these are the other things that are always available to you no matter who you are. So it's really helpful for learning the system, it's sleek, and again, just like all of these other modules, it's highly customizable, so you can really tweak things to get it working how you want. Another great feature about Argon is that it's not D&D specific. There are individual Argon Combat HUD modules for a variety of systems, many of them made by community members who have submitted branches to Ripper. And if you look in the Foundry module browser, you'll see a whole host of Argon mods. So chances are, no matter what system you're using, you'll be able to use Argon, and it'll be a great experience for your players. You can check out the description for the installation links for all of these different combat HUDs and also what systems they're available for down below. For a more minimalist approach, we really like Token Action HUD. It is a classic for a reason, and it's been around for a long time in Foundry. Selecting someone gives you this nice little menu where you can see all of their different options organized kind of by typing here, so inventory and features. And of course, you can use them directly from this menu. It's really nice and simple to use. There's not a lot of frills or mess about this. It's just good, clean organization, and it's incredibly customizable once again. For example, if you don't want to have the effects, you can just take those off of your bar. You can move things around, and you can decide whether or not you want the name to be displayed above the bar, or if you want to move it to a new location on your screen. It's all very easy to customize and really lightweight. And for that reason, we really enjoy it as DMs, because we don't need to have a whole big sheet with a bunch of wasted space. Even looking through Action Pack or Argon, our options are a lot more limited than what our players have. So it's nice to just have this quick, clean option to see, okay, here are the features and the weapons that we've got, or here are the spells. We can go ahead and pick from those quickly and easily with a very minimal UI, so we can keep track of everything going on the battlefield. And like Argon, Token Action HUD has a variety of supported systems. There are individual modules for all of those systems. So again, check out the links in the description to see what all systems are supported. Just like Argon, you're probably going to be able to find a version of it that works for your system. And we really like having both Argon and the Token Action HUD enabled. As DMs, we don't use Argon unless we're using a more complex character for whatever system we're in that might have a lot of options, something that's kitted out closer to a player character. And then we let our players use Argon while we use Token Action HUD to do these quick actions at our fingertips. It's a really nice synergy there, and a great way you can combine multiple token HUDs to give yourself a great experience for both you and your players that is separate and synergistic. Our final action HUD here is going to be Illandril's quick token actions. When I right-click on this character, I get a quick little option of what kind of options we've got going on here. We've got our actions and reactions ready to pick out from our quick little menu directly above the token. I'm just left-clicking and selecting things, then I don't see anything. It's really nice and unobtrusive, but it is right there when I need it, when I'm trying to murder my players' characters very brutally with an overpowered assassin for their level. Another really nice feature of this is that since it's directly above the token, you're not going to have any of those issues where if, say, you have Argon or you have a character sheet open, that you're like, is this the right assassin? Is this the right person I'm looking at? Where you have to do a double take and make sure, okay, this is the person that I have selected. This is the one I want to be using it from. These are the right action lists. I don't actually have this bandit over here selected when I'm trying to attack with my assassin. It's really easy and clear who you have and whose actions you're working with when you're using this. So it's a really nice, unobtrusive, super simple, super clean. Since it's organized by action economy, it's really easy to tell, okay, these are the things that this person can do right now. Go down the line, which one makes the most sense for them to do in this particular situation. As of the time of this recording, Illandril's is a 5e exclusive, so if you're not using Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, then you're going to be out of luck for this particular minimal token HUD. And that's going to conclude our discussion on token HUDs in Foundry Virtual Tabletop. As you can see, there's a lot of different applications here. You can have multiple token HUDs to be able to give your players and yourself different levels of detail depending upon what you need and what the scene calls for. Running a big boss that has a whole host of actions, maybe you want to stick with a more detailed HUD like Action Pack or Argon for that fight. But if on a different day you're running a bunch of nobodies who will only have the choice of, am I going to hit something or am I going to run away, then maybe you want something more minimalistic like Illandril's Quick Actions or Token Action HUD. Either way, there's a lot of great options for you while still supporting your players with more detailed options, or they can always use their character sheets as well if they prefer that. There's some great applications here, and again, we really can't stress that this is perhaps the single best way to speed up your games and reduce friction for you and your players. And obviously, we really like the 4 token HUDs that we picked out for this particular video, but if there's another one that we should know about, please let us know down in the comments below. Once again, this has been Zephyr with the Bailey Wiki channel. If you enjoyed this content, then subscribe to keep up with all of our latest videos on the channel, and consider becoming a patron. Not only do you support the channel, but you also gain access to all the modular systems and scenes that we've made for Foundry that you can use without any setup, like this circus in the background here. This has been Zephyr. Thank you so much for watching, happy gaming, and have a good one.